in a 30-day period. Prizes can be picked up by the winner at our studios inside the Big Red Barn, 4 miles south of Clinton on U.S. Highway 51 within 2 weeks of winning. Our office hours are weekdays from 8 till 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Employees of WHOW, WEZC, and their families are not allowed to participate in our contest. Thanks for participating and for listening to WHOW and WEZC.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It is brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the morning show, Micaela Harris, is the communications director for the McLean County Museum of History. Good morning, Micaela, and a happy new year. How are you today?
Happy New Year, Seth. I am so excited to be here with you today.
Yeah, thanks for making time for us. Always good to have you on the program. And I'll tell you what, Micaela, let's start the conversation today with a look back at 2023, the year that was at the McLean County Museum of History. What were some of the highlights? What did you think of the year past?
Mm-hmm. We had a great 2023. Lots of exciting programs. We, of course, had our highly successful cemetery walk and our History Makers Gala. We also launched some new programs. We opened our Merwin Gallery, which expanded the access that people have to our over 18,000 object collection, which we were really excited about. That coincided with launching our museum online database, which again gives people more access to that collection, not only when they're in the museum in the Merwin Gallery, but at home or anywhere in the world with an internet connection. We also launched our social justice walking tour of downtown Bloomington, where people can take a self-guided walk around downtown and engage with some of the local history and the happenings and some of the events and actions that shaped the community today. Taking a look back, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, we did so much.
Yeah.
You keep going forward, and sometimes it's good to take a minute to step back and reflect.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I could have my timeline totally mixed up. If I'm not mistaken, didn't the museum's building get like a renovation of its? Was it the escalator? Not the elevator.
Oh,
Is that right?
That was a huge part of the year. Our elevator got all of the mechanical elements replaced, and then the interior of the cab, we got some work. So we were without an elevator for about three months, which I must have blocked that mememory out.
Well, I think it was like the first of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Like that was the first thing Candace talked to us about last year.
Yeah, yes, it was.
In terms of
very grateful.
Yeah, in terms of just what that adds for the museum, what does that mean? I mean, why was that such a huge improvement? I mean, obviously, it probably cost a lot of money, but why? What does that mean for the museum in terms of whether it's facilitating visitors, access? Talk about those things.
It's all about accessibility, and that is a huge priority to us. We want our visitors, we want people in the community and from all around the world to be able to come to the museum and engage with it fully. So the elevator previously had many issues of breaking down. Candace herself got stuck in the elevator last year, and she was not the only one. So replacing those mechanisms just ensured that the elevator was safer for everybody that used it, more reliable, and that people, regardless of their mobility ability, could go throughout the beautiful historic building, which is really, really important to us. So I would say overall accessibility was a huge theme for us in 2023, both in the building and outside of the building, expanding our digital resources.
Sure. Did you feel like 2023, Micaela, was an opportunity to continue to get back to normalcy out of the pandemic? Probably early 2022, things were still felt a little held back, and maybe as the the year went on,
Yeah.
you put more on the gas pedal, those sorts of things. But how about just getting back to normalcy in 2023? Did it feel that way to you?
Yeah. I would say it's that new normal thing, you know. I don't think that things feel the same as they did before, but I do think that we're hitting a stride of kind of stability and understanding, I guess, kind of how we are and where we are today and how we can move forward and continue to serve the community, get folks into the building, and share more of our history.
Absolutely. You mentioned a lot of the programs and exhibits and those sorts of things that kicked off in 2023. What was the response like to some of those things? How did the community and your patrons respond to those?
You know, we had an outpouring of support from the community, which is one of the best, I think one of the best parts of this job, for me at least, to see people interact with the things that we do, to see them in the building, to see the response online, to, talk to people in person, to see the kids run around the building with that look of awe and amazement. That is what makes this, it's why we do what we do. So we were very grateful for all of the outpouring of support and are looking forward to continuing to serve people moving into the new year.
When you think about 2023, again, our guest is Micaela Harris, Director of Communications with the McLean County Museum of History. When you think about 2023, Micaela, what was something new that you tried? Was there something that's been on the maybe back burner because of COVID, but you've kind of had it in your minds there within the staff and the leadership to say, we're going to try this and we're waiting for the right time, and maybe 2023 was that opportunity. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. The opening of the Merwin Gallery was one of those things for sure, and same with the we launched in conjunction with that our online database, and those were both projects that had been in the works. Prior to the pandemic, we had a roof leak that caused severe water damage in our 3 upstairs galleries. And so, like many folks did during the pandemic, we were in full repair mode as our doors were shut to the community. So we're now, those 3 galleries are, we got rid of the lead paint, we got rid of the water damage, repainted, replastered, new carpet, the works to make those spaces functional. And so in 2023, we really pushed to get that Merwin Gallery ready, to get an opening, to give the public something new, which we had not since the pandemic. And then the online database, kind of concurrently, is something that has been in talks for several years. It's a long process to get those objects uploaded, and we are by no means done with that. That will be a long, ongoing thing, but to get that out there was huge. And I think the intersection of the time where we were at with kind of post-COVID-esque and just where the world is, kind of really lended itself to both of those projects kind of culminating in November there.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, Micaela, let's wrap this conversation up with, there's some annual things that the museum does that just continue to be very popular. I think of your summer camp series that Candace leads, and the cemetery walk. I don't know if there's others that come to mind for you, but just how about the regular things the museum does that, again, the public and the community continue to support? How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to do day camp again this summer. And of course, it's going to be the 30th anniversary of the Evergreen Cemetery Walk this year, so we are super excited about that. We will be doing both the in-person and the virtual walk again, so folks can come on out and or relive it or view it from the comfort of their own homes after the fact. We're going to be having our annual History Makers Gala in June, and we're also going to be doing our another Dia de los Muertos celebration in early November, and we're really excited about that one because We're also working on a Spanish language translation of our Making a Home exhibit, which will translate to an audio tour that folks can use to engage with that exhibit in Spanish. So that event got really good traction last year. That was one of our biggest events, the Dia de los Muertos celebration, where we invited folks to come and view the ofrenda installation that we had, and then also add their photos and memories of their loved ones to our community ofrenda, which was really special and really touching. We're looking forward to doing that again.
Sure.
As well as all of our regular running series. Our Lunch and Learn series is continuing to grow, and it's fun to see different folks come down for that. Those are the second Thursday of every month at 12:10, and then they wrap up at about 1 o'clock. And we host a variety of different speakers. They're also always live streamed to our YouTube. So if you can't make it to downtown Bloomington for your lunch, but you want to learn something while you're eating your lunch at your desk or wherever you may be, you can tune in via YouTube for that. Our upcoming program is going to be with our librarian, Bill Kemp, and he's actually going to be talking about Bloomington's electric streetcar program that happened in the early 20th century, which I personally had no idea that electric streetcars were a thing back then. So,
cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of things coming up. There's more to talk about as well, Micaela, when we come back from the break. But in the meantime, where do folks go to just keep up with all the things the McLean County Museum of History is doing?
mchistory.org.
That is, again, Micaela Harris, Director of Communications with the McLean County Museum of History. Our guest on the phone. More to come with her on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Central Illinois News, Agriculture, and Sports Station, WHOW, on all its platforms, AM, FM, and streamed online, are bringing all the great things happening at our local high schools to the radio in January. We're hitting the road for the WHOW High School Road Tour. Join us when we broadcast live from Clinton High School from 9 to 10 in the morning on Wednesday, January 10th, interviewing the Clinton High School principal, athletic director, student council president, and one of the club's student presidents. This WHOW High School Road Tour stop at Clinton High School is brought to you by these sponsors. Encore Thrift Store in Clinton, serving people with disabilities. We're worth the trip. Century 21 Quest, located in Clinton, Bloomington, and Monticello. Visit their website at c21quest.com for more info.
And yet another major brand just announced it's halting all social media advertising.
The two most overused and abused words in advertising are truth and trust. They are the two most precious commodities for all brands, big and small. As an advertiser, you have to trust your partners to protect your brand's truth using the media consumers trust. Radio, it's on.
Trust the Miller Media Group to deliver your message.
Scott Baum here from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. Search our big selection of pre-owned cars and trucks by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Dr. Bradley Grant here from Midstate Eye in Clinton. Many insurance plans will have benefits that renewed on January 1st. If you've been waiting until the new year, click Midstate Eye icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to make your appointment today.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Micaela Harris, Director of Communications with the McLean County Museum of History, my guest on the phone for today. And Micaela, let's springboard our reflection of 2023 into a conversation about 2024 and some things that are happening right out of the new year. What's coming up?
Absolutely. Well, before the break, I kind of mentioned our Lunch and Learn with our librarian, Bill Kemp. We've got an exciting season of Lunch and Learns in store that will kick off the new year. After Bill's program on the 11th, the February Lunch and Learn is going to be with local game designer Ben Rossett, and he is, I did not realize we had such a successful game designer living here locally, and Ben is a wonderful, wonderful volunteer at the museum. So he generously agreed to do this program with owner of Red Raccoon Games, Jamie Matthey. And we're really excited about that lunch and learn. They're going to be talking about the board game development process and kind of some of the ins and outs of board games today. They've really kind of had a little bit of a renaissance. So that will be a cool program. In March, we'll be having a lunch and learn with Greg Coos, who will be talking about Irish immigration right around in time for St. Patrick's Day. And then in April, we'll be hosting a lunch and learn that talks about how to create your own sensory garden at home. So then we'll take a little bit of a break for the summer on the lunch and learns, but come back with an exciting lineup in the fall to keep us all nice and busy. We're really looking forward to then in the spring, we have a series of events in February with the Bloomington Normal Black History Project. We have 2 panels, which I think are going to be very interesting, one of which is going to be looking at a little bit of history of music locally. And then also following that in March, we're going to be having a collaboration with the League of Women Voters that is going to be an intergenerational dialogue looking at the last 50 years of women's rights and really experiences. So we're going to be hosting what we call a human library. So we're going to have women from like each decade generation there to discuss and kind of work in small groups. And the whole idea there is to encourage that intergenerational dialogue and give a space for women to connect and learn a little bit about our shared history. Mm-hmm. So that will take us right into History Makers Gala season, which will be always fun and exciting, and I'm sure I'll talk to you more about that then. But after that, we roll into day camp, and the biggest probably 2 events of 2024 are going to be our 30th annual Evergreen Cemetery Walk, and then our upcoming exhibit opening, which will be on asbestos, which is always kind of, so far when I've said that, people kind of look at me funny, but there was a UNARCO asbestos plant in Bloomington that subsequently around 400 people in McLean County that we know of today died from the exposure to that. And this exhibit is all kind of about the subsequent movement for workers' rights after that. And it's a very, very interesting story. My house, when I moved into it, had asbestos, and I wasn't really sure much about it or even really what it was. But in preparing to open this exhibit, it's been really fascinating. So that's just a brief kind of run through an overview of some of the things that we're looking forward to. But I know there are things that I'm missing, and there'll be plenty of fun for everyone upcoming in the new year.
For sure. Well, Micaela, when it comes to these events and everything, again, just remind us where folks go to follow along, if registration is required, how they register, and some of those things. Where do they go? Who do they call?
They can go to mchistory.org. That's mchistory.org. We are Make History across all social media platforms if you want to get in contact with us there. But our website has all of the information you can need about upcoming events, registration for events, lots of also just local history resources. So we hope that folks will head over there and engage with our shared history.
Very good. Definitely, for sure. Well, Micaela, as we look to the year ahead, just again, anything that excites you that you're looking forward to that's happening at the museum, anything that you're particularly excited about?
I'm really looking forward to our Dia de los Muertos celebration in November. And that September, October, November is going to be a really particularly exciting and busy few months with the 30th annual cemetery walk, that Dia de los Muertos celebration and Spanish language tour launch, and then also the opening of our new exhibit on asbestos.
Yeah, for sure. So that exhibit on asbestos, Micaela, just kind of give us real quick a little background how that kind of played itself out in putting it together, and the research and effort that went into those things. How about that one, just real fast?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, exhibit processes are typically about 3 years long to do all of the research, the exhibit design. They're highly collaborative processes, so we work with a variety of community partners. And in particular, we've had some local labor activists who have been working with us on this asbestos exhibit, and this has been actually a few years in the works. COVID really kind of derailed the process on that, so we're excited to get this up and open to the public. But it's been a long research effort, and then again collaboration to get it ready to go to share with folks.
Sure. Very good. We look forward to that one. Micaela, it's always good to have you on the program. We look forward to another fun and exciting 2024 at the McLean County Museum of History. Thanks so much for doing this with us again today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Seth.
Micaela Harris is the Director of Communications with the McLean County Museum of History. Our guest on the phone. Appreciate her time as always. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. And, of course, we stream live online all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news comes your way next on the WHOW Morning Show.